Oh, my face looks like it's glowing. Well, it looks more normal over here, but when I go over here, crazy. Okay, well, today, let's close this. Today we're editing update number 34, and I need to do, okay, so I already actually converted my video files from MKVs to MP4s via Handbrake. So now I just need to do some directory related items. So we're gonna open DataStack in a new tab. DataStack is just my ext4, I guess, drive. It's my basically for all my Linux files. Data store is actually my NTFS drive, and it has all my old stuff. Um, my old dev stuff folder. In fact, I'm gonna have to try to look through and see what I can move over. I think I don't know what backups are. What are backups? 38 gig. Oh, these are backups of my drive. I see. I think. Oh, interesting. 247 gigabyte, 38 gigabyte. Yeah. I think this is from Foxclone. Although the 7-zipped, I don't remember doing it. Maybe there's multiple files in here. Maybe that's why. In fact, let's open that up. Yeah. I think that's from Foxclone. And they're Gzipped, huh? Which is kind of interesting. I guess because Foxclone is a using Linux basically with its own software on there. So okay, that's all that. I just wondering what that was. Anyways, data store is my NTFS drive, which I'm not really using anymore. In fact, let's see if I can look at properties here. 1 terabyte used, 1.6 terabyte free. So I have quite a few things on here. Data store. But I don't actually need to continue looking at that. Okay, so what I need to do here is these are the sources. These are the MKB sources. Am I right? I'm right. Okay, so I need to actually create a new folder. Create new folder. Let's call it 00034. And it would be what would it be? April what? Dang. 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. So it'd be the 28th. PR 28th through May 2nd through May 2nd, 2025. Sources. Alrighty. Just to confirm, let's check my calendar. And it would be the 28th, Monday, April 28th to Friday, May 2nd. And that is correct. Now, let's do a rename and copy. And let's just copy. Let's copy that. Okay. What? Oh. Okay, I see what I did there. Let's actually go to videos. Let's go to those are the MP4s. Those are not going to go over here. Right, they go into library first, and then okay. Just a second. OBS clips. Okay, let's do something first before I do that. Let's pull up dev stuff, I guess, right? Dev stuff. Open in a new tab. Let's go to dev stuff. Let's go to Blender projects, VSE projects. Create new folder. Control V. Update. And then we'll go into library, source video, and create new folder. Control V, and we'll call it sources. And then what we'll do over here is, oh, we'll go over here. Nope, go over here. Oh, okay. I see what I did there. Okay, let's go in here, which is nothing is in here. Let's go in there. Nothing in there. Let's go here. Let's go ahead and cut. This would be that would be dev stuff. This would be data stack. This would be MKB files. Okay, they're all there. Good. And then let's go back up to OBS. Back to videos. And select these. Cut. Let's go over here. Under video projects. Okay. Paste. So look at how small they are. I mean, they're a couple. They were at like 100 megabytes or so, and now they're down to like they're almost MP3 size because there's not much in them. They're really short, and yeah, there's not really that much in them, huh? Well, hopefully the sound is there. I guess I'll be turning on the desktop audio, and I don't think anything's running through it right now, right? Good, because I muted my live stream thing here. Let me check something here. No chat in here, no chat in here, because nobody ever chats in Rumble. Let's go ahead and switch to chat there, and whoop, whoa! What did I just what did I do? Somehow I reloaded or something. Did I reload the page? Okay, it doesn't matter. So videos doesn't have anything, clips doesn't have anything, right? Good. We can close that for right now. All right. Actually, we can close all of these. Or no, let's not close all these. Let's stay in here. Close that one. Let's go up to Blender projects. Or VSE projects. Library. Okay. And I'll just keep it here, and we're gonna start from here. What's up, guys? Okay, let's start Blender up. This is my first time. It's not exactly my first time starting Blender 4.4. I was messing around with the I got it to run. I was messing around with the icons and stuff. I had to redo the icons and everything. I still have 4.3 on there, but so the thing that I think I need to do now is I need to open template blend and see if it needs to convert anything or do anything. And apparently, nothing weird, nothing different. That's good. Okay. So now I'm officially in Blender 4.4.3 instead of 4.3. And we got text. Okay. All right, Enchanted Lands update number 34. Now I don't have anything to put in there, so I can just go ahead and I'll just do this start like that. But the rest of everything else will still need to. Anyways, 34. Okay. So Monday. April 28th. Tuesday. April 29th. Wait a second. Wednesday, April 30th. Okay. April 30th. Now, let's go over here. Bada bing. Thursday. May 1st. May 1st. May 1st. May 25. Okay. Friday. May 2nd. May 2nd. How about that? And we can leave these. Thank you for watching. We can leave that as is. Okay. Oh, save as. Now I can always use save so that the dates are more or less up to date. So I can hit save like that. Because all I did was change the number. And so we can leave that like that because I have to change it every time. So let's go to save as. This one. And the only question is that still in there? No, that's not still in there. Game. Control C. Control V. So. And save it. Save it. Okay, save as. Okay, good. Now we need to bring in the projects. Am I right? Am I right? I am right. I am so right. Source video 34. Now the question is, how big are these? Let's turn that off, snapping off for a second. And do that. Drag this in here like that. Really close. We're going to take this one and drag this in there pretty close. I want it close but not touching, just so that I have room to move things around if I need to. And the long one is actually going to be this last one. It's not that long, but it's long. It's like 4 minutes or something. Okay. So this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Never go back in old school track. Okay, actually, let's do one other thing here. Let's take everything. Why doesn't this thing scroll? No. This thing always gets me. How come? Okay, that's okay. I can do it like this, but actually, let's go ahead and let's go to the end here. Let's turn snapping on. There we go. And I don't know if I need snapping on for sure right this second. Okay, so you can see how it is. Let's or I guess what I'll go ahead and do. I won't read about the end until I'm done. Till we're done. Till we're done. Till we're done. Till I'm done. Okay. So, boop, 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 boop. What I want to do is that starts at 13 seconds and 39 frames. 13 at 16 seconds. That's 3 minutes and 16 seconds for that clip. I always like to check how long they are. 341 to 516. That's actually less than 2 minutes. 341 to 441 is a minute. 441 to 501, that's 20 seconds. 511 is 30 seconds. So 35 seconds, about. 36 seconds. 1 minute and 1 minute 36 seconds. Okay, no problem. 528 to 739. 528 to 628 to 728. That's 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 11 seconds. Okay, that's fine. 749 to 949. That's 2 minutes. 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And then, of course, like I said, this is like 4 minutes here. 4 and some change. So I won't have to do a whole lot of editing here. I will probably do kind of what I do though, which is I'm going to take out some of the big gaps. So I asked Grok. I don't know if I'll be using Grok, at least maybe just for free, but watching, let's see, what's up, guys? Watching Alien, having coffee, chilling out. Editing here. Okay. So I was discussing with Grok about like some features I'd like to have in Blender, and Grok suggested, I don't know how true it is, but Grok suggested that I could probably do everything I wanted with a Python script. You know, making a plugin basically for it. And one of my big deals, one of the deals they could do that I'd Audacity's had for a while, and it's only really made a resurgence because of AI, I guess. But it's not a thing that needs AI, strictly speaking. But it is silence detection and removal. Because silence detection is just detecting certain frequencies below a certain decibel, above a certain decibel level, and if it goes below it and for a certain duration, if it goes below that and for a certain length of duration, it will remove those out. And it should be a thing that should be easily implementable here in Blender, at least for the actual devs that actually use the source code. But I was asking Grok if it would be possible to do such a thing in with an add-on with Python, and it said that even though I didn't have access to the sound stuff directly, I could uh, load in a Python library that would actually do the waveform analysis. So I'd be able to go out, like I'd install it in Python. I guess in the Python that's actually being used here in Blender. So it would probably be in a certain directory in Blender or whatever that you install it. But so you'd have this plugin that actually would examine the waveform data and would actually mark where the cuts are supposed to go, and then bring that data back into Blender, and Blender would automatically be able to set cut points at those and then delete them, and probably close the gaps in it too. So there's a possibility that I could write that in a script and make it do in a script. So that'd be extremely useful for a lot of us that well, for people, I don't think a lot of people use the Blender video sequence editor. They do it for small stuff, but they don't use it for like YouTube videos and stuff. And really, it's partly because Blender is this huge software that does so many things, and the video editor seems to be kind of doesn't get as much love as everything else does because it wasn't important to the original creators. And even though they've made a good amount of improvements over the years, you know, we got compositing, we got all kinds of stuff. You could literally do your whole movie if you were making a movie in Blender if you wanted to. But so that it would be a super useful deal. I think more people would actually use Blender for a video editor if they knew if it had the silence detection in it. And so I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll have the AI. The AI will basically, I know what they call that, vibe coding or something. I don't know if that's a specific, like to a specific AI or something, or if it's just in general using AI to help you code or to code stuff for you. And in my case, it would pretty much be doing the coding, although I'd be making sure that it worked, and so it won't be like completely hands off or anything. But that doesn't really matter. What matters is the result. If I can get it to work, if the code that it writes is proper and it works, and I can get it to work, then I probably put out the plugin for free. I even know that a lot of people charge for their plugins, and you know, and I mean, I could do that, but um, I think a lot of these plugins should maybe be free. And also, if you release a lot of stuff for free, I kind of think that the community would kind of be more apt to support you. Maybe I'd have some sort of, maybe there'd be some place like a Blender Market or something. I don't know how Blender Market works at all, so I'm not even thinking about this. And I might not even do sell it or anything. I just might show people what it is, and I might upload it somewhere, you know, some my web space or something. Um, but yeah, maybe I could set up a thing where there's a donate some sort of donation thing that people can give me. People might be apt to give me donations if I made something useful. Anyways, it was suggesting that I could do that. That even though you didn't really have the ability to directly analyze the waveform, the audio waveform, that you could actually send it out. You could send the audio out to a um, Python script would actually call in this library that you can install, and it would do the processing, and then it would mark the spots, the frames where you make the cuts, and then would make the cuts, and then you could have the essentially have the plugin, the Python script make the cuts, and then close the gaps, and you would have a clip that doesn't have any like a lot of the dead space. Now you still might have to fine tune it yourself. You might want to cut out certain things, and also where the AI would come in handy if you're using a thing with AI editing. It would come in handy knowing when you said that sort of thing. An AI would be handy in removing those. So you'd still have to remove those yourself. But as far as the silence goes, or as far as something with low noise that you just want to get rid of, you want to get rid of the clip, and you could do that. In fact, it would make my videos much quicker to edit because I'd run the thing on it, and also I have to figure out what to do if you had to do the clip by itself, each clip by itself, or if I could just put a bunch of clips on the timeline and have it do it, or I select the clip to do it on a specific clip like that, or select specific clips. Anyways, so yeah, could actually have a plugin do that. There's another feature I want, which is I want select and cut, like a really quick, like you have the selection box over here, right? But if you could do it in this certain mode, what it would do is it would literally select. It would literally make the mark in, mark out points here based on the selection rectangle. So then you could just like quickly delete stuff if you wanted to. So that then you wouldn't have to no more have to do the thing like where you get up here and then you have to hit a cut and then you go to the other end and you have to hit a cut and shoot, the silence removal thing would actually streamline that process down quite a bit. So anyways, I'm looking to do that. I'm looking to add a couple of features that would help me speed up my editing if I had them. And like I said, I'd probably release it for free if it worked. If it worked, it was decent, I'd release it for free, I think. Anyways, let's go to the actual editing part of it. And instead of watching any of these ahead of time, now traditionally I'd actually watch the clip first, and then I'd come in here, and then I have to kind of go through the clip again because you still need to play some to know where you're going to do what. But um, I'm just gonna like remove the silent parts in here right now, and so yeah. Anyways, these are what do we have? These are 10-second intervals, huh? Okay. So yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go through all these and we'll do it like that. Now, because of the size of these clips, some of them won't be fine tuned as well. Actually, you know what? If I leave it like this, that one has a plenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So maybe I should zoom it in a little bit more anyways, and just leave it at that zoom level. Let's see something here. Let's see if we can do it at 5. So I keep expanding these until they're 5-second intervals like that. Okay, we're gonna just do it at the 5-second level, just before it turns into like 3 seconds or something. That gives me a little bit more space to play with. I'm gonna do it. Okay, so I guess let's get this party started. And we'll start by doing this. And I'm just gonna... Okay. I think I'm gonna do the kind of the single line one. So if I do K like that, see what I'm doing here. I'm actually making single clips, and then I'm gonna drag the ends here. And it does make it kind of quicker, I think. Here, let's bring it up there. Okay. Yeah, and I don't do a lot of talking here. It's kind of boring, right? So, if you want to know, I guess, just to keep it interesting for anybody that decides they're gonna pop in and listen, since you're not gonna learn a lot of Blender stuff in here because I do the kind of the same things over and over again. I'll leave that. I'm gonna start. Uh, some of these are too small, and I think that's all I'm gonna do for that. Um, okay, let's do that. Okay, so the place I'm at in my game, I'm still trying to make the editor a layout tool, and I've been trying for the life. Whoop. Oh, it doesn't let you do that. That's cool, I guess. For the life of me, couldn't figure out how to make it to where I couldn't select certain nodes. Because see, what I had is okay, so I have my room, and my room is my room node. Okay, and it actually has a panel, 2D display panel that's only displayed in the editor, and let's see here. The panel is only displayed in the editor, and I have the door nodes, right? So I have the door nodes, and then I have a door visual. So in this case, it's a little color rect, or little square, basically, little colored square. Okay, let's go back over here, and right. So okay, let's jazz on over to here. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and do this. Um. So okay, so they're separate. They're separate nodes, but you can click on them and you can move them around in the editor in the viewport. And you can't do that with the thing. The door visuals have to stay in place. The doors can't be moved around either. Although it doesn't matter as much for the doors because the doors are just they're a class and it doesn't really matter how they look on the screen. But at the same time, you still don't want them kind of independently going around. So I kept going this thing. Well, maybe I could deselect it, or maybe I could turn it off, or maybe I could make something invisible on the other. I was trying to make the door invisible, but make the door visual node uh, visible. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work by setting all the child nodes to visibility. What it does is it takes on the property of the parent node. So if you set it, it's going to set the parent. It's technically it's still visible, but it's not going to be able to be shown because the parent isn't visible. So I kept on doing this thing, and then eventually I went and I did a search on Brave Leo. Well, on Brave, Brave search, and I asked it, uh, how do I how to get to where it doesn't where I can't select the node, and I still need access to it in the inspector or in the scene tree and the inspector for that matter. And it just simply said, well, there's a slot icon here at the top of the 2D viewport uh, that is a lock icon. So if you have selected nodes, you can simply lock the nodes and they can't be manipulated. Well, shoot. I've been spending all this time, several days, several hours, trying to get Grok to help me figure this thing out. And all I had to do was to select the nodes. But then I wasn't sure how to do it in script, and it said to do meta tags. In fact, Brave Leo, when I had asked it before about something similar, or it might have been for the exact same thing, even it mentioned meta tags or something. I was like, I don't want to mess with meta tags, and my mind just sort of glossed over it, like okay, whatever, and I didn't think about it. But this time when I asked, it said, well, if you set the edit lock on the node, the meta tag, then it'll lock the node by script. I was like, I could do it by script too. I was like, dang, why didn't you tell me before? Well, part of it's the way that the LLMs work. Really, I mean, it wasn't even Grok's fault per se. Um, it was just kind of the nature of how it worked, and basically how I asked it. I should have asked it directly. Well, can you do this in the editor? Can you stop a node from being like um, manipulated? Now, one little tiny issue is that it has this lock icon, and so I have a lock icon for the door and a lock icon for the color rect. Well, that will get kind of annoying because it kind of blocks your view. But then I kind of remembered originally Grok had suggested putting the door visuals in the room anyways. That was its first inclination, I guess. And I was thinking, you know what? Maybe this shouldn't be on the door itself anyways. I was thinking the whole encapsulation, this whole it takes care of itself kind of thing, so that the door node would have a visualization, and then whoa, 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 whoa. The door node would have a visualization, and what was I saying? Oh, I was saying the door should be taking care of door stuff, including the displaying its own visualization. And but then after doing all this other kind of rigmarole, I just kind of realized that well, not that much. Um, okay, let's go over here because this needs a little bit too, I think. Um, so I didn't want to put it on the room. I wanted to put it on the door itself. But after screwing around with this for a bunch, I decided to you know what? It'd probably be a good idea if it was. What am I looking at? Uh, I figured it probably was a good idea to put it onto the onto the room, because I have to do that with the inbound anyways. The parents, the multiple parents, if you have incoming if you have rooms that lead to the current room, multiple of them. In fact, I got an array now for them instead of just a single parent node. That I figured it'd make more sense to actually put it onto the room. Plus, the room visualization thing is set up already, anyways. Okay, there we go. Let's see how we did. Oh, okay. I remember 5 seconds interval. Okay, so we're starting at what, 13 seconds, and then we're ending at 2:49. So still 2.5 minutes, which is not horrible. I mean, I can live with that. Anyways, let's go on to the next clip. So I'm going to zoom in until it hits well, every 5 seconds, which is what it's at right now. So let's go until it just, right, 4 seconds, right there. Okay, so I do the same thing here. It's going to be majority of the bigger deals. It's not going to be the little tiny ones. In fact, I'm going to try to make sure I don't do too many tiny ones. Maybe one small one, like this small, maybe. So anyways, yeah. So it makes more sense to put the door visualization grouped onto the room. This is what I'm going to do Monday. In fact, I'm going to make the shoot. I forgot that was still on. Shoot, I might even wake that up. Okay. So yeah. So on Monday, we're going to do that very thing. We're going to yeah. Also, I'm going to make the doors invisible because they don't really need a visual anyways. They don't need to be on the map. So that's actually going to remove one of the little lock icons that kind of clutters up the space, and then I'm going to make 9 different little boxes that's going to fit along the bottom of the room panel, and they're all going to be grayed out except for the doors that are active. And then let's see what else was I thinking. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna try to see if it can pick a certain position. I don't know. It's got a thing where it does it equidistantly, but you have to use the same color on the inbound links that you do on the doors, the outgoing links. So I might like pre-do the outgoing. Uh, I might pre-do the door linkages, and they'll have a color assigned to them, and then that way I can sort of uh, I can pick certain ones depending on how many there are and where they're at. And I had a specific way to do it that originally was going to be like, well, you don't need to do that. You need to what was I saying? Um, yeah. So basically, you either have even and odd, and so 9 means that there are odd number of nodes. So what you do is, if you only have one door, then it's the middle. It's the middle one. If you have 2 doors, it's going to be on either side of the middle one. If you have 3, it's going to be the 3 centers. If you got 4, it's going to be 2 on either side of the center. When you have 5, it'll be all 5 of them, of the centers. When you have 6, it's going to be 3 on each side of the center. When you have 7, it's going to be all 7 of the center. And then when you have 9, it's going to be all 9 of them. I figure that kind of makes sense. They'll each be the same color. They'll be the same color on the top and the bottom, that ways. And then all you have to do is draw the linkages. And it kind of doesn't matter the order. I mean, the order matters, but it kind of doesn't matter in the fact that you might only have 3, and anyways, that's of course when you add more doors, you have to change the location though. That's the only bad part about that. The other thing I could do instead is I could just go from left to right, and it would always be left to right. So 1 would always be 1, and 2 would always be 2. That means that everything under 9 is going to be like to the left side. I could do it that ways, or I could do it just the way that that even Grok suggested that where you just place them equidistantly. I have 3 of them. You place them equidistantly, and I mean I could do it that way, I guess. Okay, let's go ahead and these. Control S. Okay, and we'll go ahead and do this. Space Control S. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right, we'll get this closed up and this one closed up. And there you go. Now, this is another one where I want to check and see if how much it changed it, if at all. 258. We go to 358. Right? And let's do 408 is 10 seconds. 418 is 20 seconds. So it's like 1 minute and 22 seconds. This one's especially short though, of course. This closer a little bit. This closer a little bit. These closer a little bit. There we go. Okay. 35 and then another 4 seconds. So 5 seconds. Okay. So at this point, I'm not breaking just yet, but at this point, I want to go and refill my coffee since it went off. And I will go ahead and click on. I'll be right back. I'll be right back in just a second. I'm just gonna refill my coffee cup, and then I'll be just 1 minute or less. Okay, just a second. Alrighty. And you know what? I should have checked just to see if anybody's in the chat, and it doesn't look like anybody's in the chat, so I did not need to look at that. But that's all right. That's quite all right. The one disadvantage of using like a dark theme is let's do that a little bit. Disadvantage of having a dark theme is sometimes you can't tell where one window starts and the other one begins. Needs like a more like heavy outline. Okay, let me switch back to desktop. The audio should be still working, but okay. Okay, now I'm back, I guess. Stingray, Stingray. Doom 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 doom. Okay. So the next thing, of course, is let's go ahead and make sure there's that. And right. Wait a minute. Okay. That's right. No, not right. There we go. That's right. All right. It's all right. It's all right. I don't know what song that is. Um. All right. So let's just go ahead and continue. Whoa. Continue grabbing our silences. Silence is golden, but mine still see. Silence is golden, but mine still see. Okay. Uh, I'd actually like to have background music on, but I don't know what would trigger. I could get some crappy public domain stuff, or even Creative Commons, and even some of that's just it's okay. It's not great, you know. Actually, it's probably you probably still get a lot better stuff if you have like a paid license for something. But so I mean, I'd like to have some music that I could put on here, but yeah, I got nothing. Okay, so let's just go ahead and we're gonna get these. I might just go ahead and do like for the whole thing. I'll close the gaps afterwards. I don't need to close the gaps first. I'm actually probably going to go ahead and go to like 3 seconds when I'm done with this. I'm going to do like a once over. And we'll see. We will see. We will see. Okay. Some decent sized gaps. Yeah. I just figured that it would be good to show progress of the game through the updates. The updates themselves aren't going to be anything special. In other words, they aren't going to be fancy. Um, my earlier ones are actually going to kind of look a little bit cooler than my later ones. My later ones, these ones that I'm doing now with the weekly thing, um, I don't think they're probably as good as my earlier uh, edits. Not just because I didn't work as hard on them, but just because I had these small clips that I used, and the earlier ones I'm actually using a whole stream, and so it kind of reflects that having to work hard to try to make sure that it fits within my time period, and then fits within the length I want, and just making sure that I get everything that's important. And so that kind of breeds kind of almost better like video. But it's kind of, I mean, it like it really does take too long to make some of these edits. Now, editing, like, of course it's going to take long, but you kind of don't. For one thing, you kind of don't want to go through every single stupid clip like over again. Like you went through it once, and so you don't really want to go through it again. The other thing is, okay, that's probably good enough, I guess, right now. But the other thing is trying to find the important stuff, right? Especially the way I do it. I talk through my thing most of the time, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, I talked through most of my stuff, so it's hard for me just to kind of pick out points that were important because it's all kind of important, sort of. I mean, not to sound like egotistical, like everything I say is important, but rather I'm telling the story, relating stuff, and there's not a part in there where you can just like pick stuff out because they're all of. I guess they're all kind of. It's kind of like they're all of equal importance, you know. That way, not really that I'm so important. It's just that everything you say is kind of similar to that. Anyways, 424 to 620. So that's just under 2 minutes. That's good. 2 minutes is fine. In fact, this actually is fine as it needs to be. Honestly. Okay. This. Okay. Oh, this one has a nice bit of spaces in here. At least at this level. So let's just do that. Okay, let's go ahead and save it now right now. And then see what the thing that I'm doing, I'm clicking K. Now, like I said, if I have a tool that will actually literally remove the silences and the clips and the spots, then then a lot of this becomes moot. But how useful it would be if I could just go blink blink like that, and then have just select that much, and then I can just delete it without, I can hit X because it's already selected. It's already marked cut, and all I have to do is hit delete or the X key to delete it. It just make a world of difference. And why am I doing this now? I need to do this after the fact because it's quicker. It's quicker to batch up stuff, right? Batching is good. Remember that. Batching is good. But this has quite a bit. And even that might be a word here. Sometimes it's just a sound I make, but oh, I see what I did. See what I did there? Okay, I'm mixing methods now. Because see, now let's go back to this one and it's just the one. Same here. Same there. But here, a whole section. That's because there is a way that I do it sometimes. I'll show you the way here in just a second. That way is marking both ends and deleting the spaces. And the other way I do it, of course, is, especially if they're more narrow, is I just drag one end over. I make sure that they cut on the right side of the clip, essentially the end of the clip here. What was I saying? I get distracted too easy. Oh yeah, so one is basically I go to the right side, I go to the end of the clip first, or I just go to the end of the clip and then I clip it, and then I go on to the next end of the next clip, and so then what I do is I move the end over because you can do that. That's actually one of the cool things. I'm not sure if the others can do it. They probably can. They probably do work like this, but I can just drag the ends over. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that is nothing import. Delete that whole thing. Marina, aquamarina. Okay, sorry, enough of that. Sorry, I have to keep myself amused, especially when there's nobody in the chat. So, there's some people in RC that I could be chatting with, but that requires me to look on my other monitor over here. So, I have to entertain myself in some way, and sometimes it's by singing very badly. And not that I'm even a bad singer. In fact, I think I could be a good singer. I'm not saying that I want to be a singer. I'm just saying I think I could be. Um, but that my vocal range is so severely limited, it can either go really super high or super low. Why is it keep doing that crap? Quit doing that. Um, but I have to keep constantly shifting my pitch because I can't go real high or real low. So most of the time I sound bad when singing, and then sometimes I can hit the notes just fine as long as the range is in my vocal range. Um, there we go. Okay, so 6:27 to 7:27. That's a minute. 7:27 is a minute. 37. So it's a minute 10 seconds. See, that's in long enough for nothing. Which is kind of cool because that makes this this is my last one, right? This is my May 2nd, right? My Friday one, my yesterday one. Honestly, it didn't need to actually be even this long. I don't think. I don't think it was strictly necessary. Oh, I see what went on. What went on is the stupid things. Come on. To what the? Okay. Okay. Where's my 5 seconds? 2 seconds. 4 seconds. 5 seconds. There we go. Do I need to mess with anything? No, I guess I just did that for that. Okay, now here is the biggie. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and extract our. I'll probably extract more silences. Like I said, I'm gonna zoom into maybe 2 or 3 second uh interval. I don't know what you call that. Where the timeline shows every 3 seconds, maybe, and then and I might be able to pull out some more silence that way. Okay, so let's just kind of start here real quick. Let's do this. Then let's go ahead here. And let's go ahead and start laying down cuts here. Sometimes I do these small cuts, and sometimes I let them go. So it kind of depends on what I'm thinking. It's like I did one here, but then like this, like I could have done 2 more over here, but just in my mind, I'm gonna go in. No, those are still too small, even though like this one's about the same size. Okay, so let's try that. Stingray, 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 Jerry Anderson's Super Marination, which with the Thunderbird's the most famous, and then he did something called Four Feathered Falls, which is kind of a Western dealie, only in the UK, and then because Jerry and Sylvia Anderson were Brits, are Brits, were Brits. Jerry Anderson is no longer with us, but his shows are. And of course, the most famous one you've heard of is Thunderbirds. But anyways, after this Four Feathered Falls, and there might have been another one in there. I don't know. That was just UK only. But their first big I think the first one that actually went like overseas, like probably came over here. I think might have come over here to the U.S. Was a supercar about Mike Mercury um, and this special car that they built that can fly, could see through like fog and all kind of stuff. And they have a monkey named Mitch is actually like a chimpanzee, but um, I don't know if they call him monkey or if they actually call him a chimp. But anyways, the marionettes, right? Supercar is pretty good. And then there was Fireball XL5, which is a space themed one. And then after Fireball XL5, I think Stingray is after Fireball XL5 and before Thunderbirds, I think. Stingray is about the World Aquanaut Security Patrol, or WASP as they're called, like patrolling the waters, and then their perpetual foes is the Atlanteans, um, and they're like these kind of sea creature guys. Anyways, Stingray was actually my favorite, I think. Maybe even more so than Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds was probably originally my favorite, but uh, I really, if I had to pick, I think I'd pick Stingray. So if you ever get a chance to see any of the Jerry Anderson stuff, uh, try Stingray. Why did it do that? Okay. Anyways, I got the song Stingray stuck in my head. And then there's a woman that's I guess she's an Atlantean herself, or I forget what they call them, but they're like these underwater uh people. And her name's Aquamarina, and so they have a song for her on the end titles for Stingray. So sometimes you get that stuck in your head like an earworm. Anyways, let's see here. for at this range, or at this what word am I looking for? At this level of granularity, I don't know. Um, there isn't a lot of gaps here. I mean, there's a lot of gaps, but they're little tiny gaps. And so the only way I'd be able to fine tune that is by going even further in, which I'm going to go further in, but not that much further. In fact, I might not do it at all. It just kind of depends on how much overall the time is, even though this one's a long one. So we'll see. I have plenty of like tiny ones, small small gaps. Okay, okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. So next week, like I said, I'm gonna put the door node visualizations onto the room panel, and then I'm gonna have lines drawn room from the door to the top of the room that it connects to, node to node, and so that when I make doors and the oops that so that you can see it, and so then I'll have like the full essentially tool that works, and I'll start working on the actual game again. And then uh I have a kind of a choice to make whether I want to take the story beats, basically the pages, and whether I want to find a way of dividing them up into choices, or whether I want to instead make them like story beats and give you choices um, that go to the next story beat. That was kind of the original plan, anyways. The original string of pearls configuration, you might say, for the story would be like these would end up being like cutscenes or in-game in-engine kind of animated scenes. What did I do? What happened? Here we go. Okay. 45. There we go. It's funny because this one's the longest, and this has the least amount of gaps that I can open up. I mean, it still might be 3 minutes or so, 3 minutes and a half, or even. Now, what's interesting is this is almost correct here right now. 11:42. 7:42 was 11:42. 7 to 11. That's still 4 minutes. Still approximately 4 minutes, and I have to get that down somehow. I might end up repeating myself though, so I might be able to chunk up a bunch of it one night. So, oh, I guess now it's time. Now it's break time. So I guess I'll see you at on the other side of the break. Yeah. Alrighty, let's go back to stop. Okay, I'm back. Not that anybody's even watching or listening. Partly because it's weekend, partly because I'm just editing, and I think what I decided to do is I decided to take this last one, not mess with the other ones. Actually, I always do go over it. I listen to it and take out some ums and ahs, and just if when I'm stuttering and doing stuff like that. So I'll probably still do that. But as far as the initial silence stuff, I won't do any more of that, except for on this last one because it's a full like 4 minutes. So we're going to zoom into 3 seconds, and I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna remove some more silences. So let's do that. Okay, so 50. Okay, that's 4 seconds. This is 2 seconds. Okay, fine. Well, the 2 seconds is fine, but right at the point, two. There we go. The 1 second. So right at the point, it changes to 1 seconds. So we're still at 2 seconds, but we're just right at the point. Okay, so in most cases, I can probably, well, here I'll just do this, and then I'll trim up as I go along. So let's just select all of these, okay, and then we'll just do this, that. See, now there's actually even plenty more here where that came from. So now we're just going to trim those up a bit. And actually, I'm trimming up kind of both sides on some of these because there's a little bit extra since I was more zoomed out when I did those. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to trim these pretty good. So, okay, all these, and we're going to find some spots. And let's see. It's like I said, sometimes they'll be even that short, and maybe I will remove some of that, and then they'll be that short, and maybe I won't. It's kind of semi arbitrary. It's not real arbitrary, but semi, because um, I don't want to do it like all the time. I think I'm gonna do one side at a time too. So if there's stuff on the other side that I need to trim, I'm gonna go back and trim it after the fact. So let's see here. Okay, and if I need to trim up some ends, I'll do the ends. Okay. Um, I don't know. I guess I'm just doing it the way I'm just trimming it the way I want it now. I guess whatever. Okay, so let's go ahead and Let's go ahead and do this, select these, and then we'll go ahead and K, 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 and I think that's about it. Okay, let's move this guy over. See if there's any more we can trim off of here. Maybe a couple of spots, but only a couple anyways. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and see if about removing some of these. Some of these are super small. Okay, almost there. Okay, so all right. Let's just go ahead and retrim these. Yeah, so after I get the visualization part done, which hopefully I'm just going to go ahead and say all of next week, not just, not by next week or by the end of next week or somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to say that that whole week is going to be dedicated to finishing this part off, even if I get done early. If I get done early, of course, I will probably get to work. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm guessing those pages that I got written are going to be story beats, which means it's going to be a whole lot longer, which means it's going to take a lot longer. So, which means I have extra pages. I have to actually have stuff that I actually literally have to make up, that I'll have to think up. So it's going to be a long road. Because even after I get done with those pages, then I'm gonna have to rewrite them in kind of a prose, I guess. Because you're gonna be reading it after all, so it's gonna be kind of like reading it like a choose your own adventure. So it's gonna be, it's gonna be like a story, right? Like a story. Okay, so let's just trim these ends here. Okay. I'm gonna leave that one in. Anyways, I should be getting to the game proper here soon. Week after next, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot for the week after next. And then I don't know how long after that. This whole first phase is like taking forever. It's gonna take a long time. I mean, you think it's simple. You think it's well, okay. So let's just choose your own adventure, right? Um, you're thinking, oh, I'll just write a few pages down. I can knock it out in a weekend. And it turns out you can't really knock it out in a weekend. This thing's gonna take a little while to finish. My nose is bugging me again. Do your thing, man, and keep posting. Endeavors tells me to keep posting, and I got a couple of cheerleaders here, which is cool. And I promise you, it's gonna turn out to be a game. I mean, it's gonna. Uh, if nothing else, I'll get this first phase finished. I'm not saying I won't get the other ones finished either, but I will say that even if I never got the other phases finished, I will have this phase finished for sure. But it's just at this point, it's still kind of slow going. And then also, like I said, I'm thinking of going ahead and building a proper layout tool, and I'll be able to make it how I want to make it. And then, but I'll be doing the layout tool like alongside the game dev. Like I'll do a portion of the tool that for each day. I might do like a whole 50 minutes. I figure, let's see, 50 minutes. How's that work out? 50 and 50 and 50 and 50. That's 4. So 4 times 10, that's 40 minutes. So 4 hours minus 40 minutes is 3 hours and 20 minutes. 3 hours and 20 minutes. Which is kind of about what I'm doing as far as how much work I'm getting done anyways. So I'll be able to divide things up into like 4 parts. In fact, I may be able to get a 5-minute break in between parts. Let's see, 3 hours and 20 minutes. Right. 3 hours and 20 minutes. That leaves me 40 minutes. I'm already taking a 30-minute break, and so I have 10 extra dailies, so that'll be 5 in between, and that way it will keep me it'll keep me fresh. Like when I'm having my break right now, like I'll still have the break, I'll still have the same break, but I'll have an additional 5 minutes of break in between each 50-minute section. That's how I'm going to kind of do that. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if I can. Okay. And a couple of these spots that are small. Go ahead and do that. Here. That. And that. And that. And let's see if there's any more. Do this. That. You can get with this, and you can get with that, and you can get with this, and you okay. You can do with this. Okay. So, all right. I guess these are to a point where I can kind of make sure and extra trim them. Okay. So what I'm hoping is also too with the with this choose your own adventure version, I'm hoping this is going to help with the front loading. And what I mean by that is I'm going to have all the story stuff like completely locked down by the time I get to the part of adding graphics and sound and point and click interface and all that. So I have all the story stuff locked out, locked up, locked down. I have all all the locations, the characters, their character arcs. We'll have the things in between, and then the things in between the quote unquote story beats. Will eventually be kind of where puzzles show up, right? And of course, I won't be having puzzles until at least until I have an interpreter of some sort. Also, it shouldn't take that long, or I should say, it shouldn't. In between phases shouldn't be that long, really. Because like next time, I'm gonna separate the directional stuff. In fact, a lot of it there might even be a whole lot of on-screen choices. It might be just go here, go here, and such like that. But they'll be at least they'll be separate, and then the third. I think the third is the room reusability, and that's gonna take quite a bit of a rewrite of the code because and rewrite of the actual rooms because they're gonna have um, they may have an extra description, and they will have multiple choice sets. That is, if you're going to the same place, which there isn't a lot of the same places going on in this game, but there are several. Okay, I'm almost done with this. Actually, let's go ahead and put okay there. That. And there we go. And I think that's about it. Okay, so let's go all the way back to the front. And I'm not going to cut it down any more than that, other than going over for contact, which is what I'm going to do here in a second. And it should be quick enough that I get the whole thing edited today, which is good, which is what we want. Either it goes off the screen or how close are we? We're not that close, I guess. Backspacing. You notice here, it's going off the screen. It still hasn't caught up. Oh, but they caught up there, didn't it? Okay. This starts at 7:44. Let's go to 9:44. Let's go to 10:44. Not quite. 10:44. That's still about approximately 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I think I can live with that, though. If you notice, we're only at 11 something, and part of that is just, yeah, 11 something. Okay, so now the thing I do is I have to go through it for content, which means I have to actually review the whole thing. And you know what I think I'm going to do? Instead of reviewing it from the front back, instead of going back to that, I think I'm going to work with this last clip because potentially I can get it down farther, and then we'll see where we're at with the other clips. I might not need to. Well, I'll still need to trim them down or whatever, but we'll see here what I got here. So let's see what I got here. Okay, today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025, and today I almost got nothing done at all today. So I'm still having the problems. The problem here is look at this. It moves that. That's what I'm using as a door visual right now. Then guess what? Now you got the door itself. And then guess what? Now you got the room. Now I could, for the life of me, couldn't figure out how to stop from doing this. And then eventually I asked Brave Leo how I could lock something, and it told me what you do is you select. Now I tried to select these, and it doesn't seem to work on everything, but here. So this is what I did, right? There's a lock icon up here, lock selected nodes, and boom. Except for it didn't lock the lower ones here. So I actually have to select them independently, which is, I don't know why, but it's weird, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. So now, look, now you see there's this little lock icon over here. Still don't know how to zoom in OBS, so that'd be nice if there's a way to do that. But so there's the lock icons. So now the only thing I can select and move is that. I can still edit these. I can still, mess with them in the deal. Okay, so now here's the thing. Once I figured this out, I was like, can I do that in script? And guess what? I can do that in script, and I did that with this. There's metadata for the node, and one of them is edit lock, and that's setting them to true. So edit lock, edit lock. And I guess metadata is because it's extraneous data. It's like my metadata for my JSON files, where it's the position on the page, the layout stuff, which doesn't have directly to do with the room itself. The room itself doesn't have a position because it's a room, but it does have it in the editor map, right? So these have positions. So I had to save them separately from my actual room files. And this is the same way. This is a node. It's you set metadata on the node, which means you can lock or you can do certain things with the node. Okay, so the interesting thing here, and I still got an hour, so I still got plenty of time to think. But I'm gonna have to go through this over again, and so I can pick out some of the ums and stuff. There wasn't that many up front, which is probably why I didn't recognize it at first. So it might just be me going mostly through it again. So node that doesn't apply to the node as is running in your game, right? So this says edit lock. So it's just locking for in the editor. And what happens here when I go ahead and reload save scene, and yes, reload save scene, even though it has changes. And guess what? Now they're all locked. Now, so I finally figured out a way of locking stuff. But I'm not going to keep the visuals. I'm not going to keep the door visuals here on the door. I'm actually going to put them on the room, because I'll have to do that with inbound connections as well. They'll have to be little squares up there, and so I'll put a bunch of these in, depending on how many doors there are, in their own H box, and then I'll lock the H box with code. And as much as I like to say what I'm going to do next, I think that probably doesn't belong in the update, because it's an update. So you can wait till the next update for what I did in that update. So I'm probably going to remove all this stuff of me talking and say what I'm going to do is blah, 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 because honestly, that shouldn't be in there. So, and so that way, you can't mess with them while they're sitting on the panel there. In fact, I think I'm going to do all 9 of them. Like, you'll see all 9 of them, and they'll be grayed out, except for the ones that are active will have colors. And so yeah, so that's what I'm doing next week. Starting Monday, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to apply a bunch of these, depending on how many doors there are, to the bottom of each of the room deals. Anyways, I finally actually did figure out what I wanted to do, and I can lock them, and everything's good. And so should be getting back on track by next week sometime. So that's about it. Okay, so I finally actually did figure out what I of each of the room deals. Anyways, I finally actually did figure out. Okay, so we're gonna wait. Actually, let's okay. Actually, let's do something here. Let's take this and let's just move it off, and then right. Active will have colors, and so that way, you can't mess with them while they're sitting on the panel there. In fact, I think I'm gonna do all 9 of them. Do that with inbound connections as well. But now they're all locked. Now, so I finally figured out a way of locking stuff. But I'm not going to keep the okay save scene, and yes, reload save scene, even though it has changes. And guess what? Now they're all locked. There we go. Why does this not move over? Okay, it doesn't matter here. Let's delete that. Backspace. Let's see how that sounds. Go ahead and reload save scene. And yes, reload save scene, even though it has changes. And guess what? Now they're all locked. I finally actually did figure out what I wanted to do, and I can lock them, and everything's good. And so should be getting back on track by next week sometime. So that's about it. Okay. So let's see how long it is now. Going back to this. 7:44 to 9:44. Not quite 10:40. Okay, so we'll just say to 10:15. So we'll just say 30 seconds. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which is okay. In fact, we're at about 10 minutes, aren't we? I'm gonna go ahead and go do a quick run through from the beginning now, and I'm gonna see if I can remove ums and ahs and stuff. So I'm gonna expand it out good deal, just so I know where I'm going. Backspace. Whoop. Wrong thing. Backspace. That's what I wanted to backspace. Do that. Okay. So let's just do it. Okay, today is Monday, April 28th, 2025, and today what I got done today was I added here, let's just show you the rooms. We'll just start. I added okay. I added here. All right, that'll work. Here, let's just show you the rooms. We'll just start with the first one. I've removed parent, and I've added. See something here. See, I can leave in some of these. They're not really flubs, but they're just kind of things that I say kind of out of hand that don't really mean much. And I can leave those on there. Something here. Oh no, they're not. Oh, I guess that must. Oh, I guess that must have been messed up. I'll have to. See, I don't mind leaving it messed up. That's fine. See if channel lines one. Let's see if it's messed up. The first 3 are messed up. Why are they messed up? All right, I'll have to fix those. And then, anyways, here, let's do this. See, I'm not removing everything out. I'm just certain things. So now you don't have a parent. Now you have a bunch of parents, and then I call them inbound. So they're essentially inbound rooms or inbound connections. essentially parent rooms, so more rooms can be parented to the current room. Let's go ahead and let's chunk that out a little bit. So now you don't have a parent, now you have a bunch of parents, and I call them inbound. So they're essentially inbound rooms or inbound connections, essentially parent rooms. So more rooms can be parented to the current room. And so I did that all in code here. I did that all. I was leaving in the gaps. Why don't I not leave it in the gaps here? All right. Let's do this. So now you don't have a parent, now you have a bunch of parents, and I call them inbound. So they're essentially inbound rooms or inbound connections. Essentially. Essentially parent rooms, so more rooms can be parented to the current room. I did that all in code here, and I did. Oh yeah, I fixed the. We fixed the. I used code here, and I did. Oh yeah, I fixed the. We fixed the. I use Grok, but I fixed the. Yeah, I fixed the. Oh yeah, I I fixed. Also I use Grok, but I fixed the. I did. Oh yeah, I use Grok, but I fixed the. I did. Oh yeah, I also. Oh yeah, I use Grok, but I fixed the. Oh yeah, I use Grok, but I fixed the crash bug. Nope. I'm just trying to tighten it up a little bit. The crash bug. Now the crash bug isn't really a fix; it's more like a workaround because what it's doing is it's trying to access a node that isn't there anymore. Workaround because what it's doing is it's trying to access a node. Say because what it's doing is it's trying to access a node that isn't there anymore. So what? Huh, there's actually plenty of spaces in here. Let's see. Shoot, I can do the same thing here too. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a big. Because what it's doing is it's trying to access a node that isn't there anymore. So whenever I add a room and I remove it, let's take that out. Okay. Oh, hey, Rook. Thanks for joining. I don't know when you joined. 16. 14 to 16. Okay, so you joined like a long time ago. And anyways, thanks for joining. Add a room and I remove. So whenever I add a room. Okay, and we're gonna take this out like that, and we're gonna go. That isn't there anymore. So whenever I add a room and I remove it, and I went to the script anymore. So whenever I add a room and I remove it and I went to the script editor, it caused a refresh and it was trying to access it. So what I did is here, let's so I guess there's plenty of places here that I can just kind of add in here. So what I did is I created and really Grok did this, but I created I created a holding node, and really Grok did this, but I created a holding node. I can find out where it's at. See, like I'll like leave that in. That's okay. Where I like did a double talk, you know. I created a holding node. I can find out where it's at. I'm gonna find holding node. So then it removes it from the thing over here. Yeah, let's see if I can trim this down real quick. Find out where it's at. I'm gonna find holding node. So then it removes it from the thing over here. See, I can take this. The thing over here from the thing over here and then puts it in the holding node so that if it's selected, it's not going to error because it's still a valid node. It's just not no longer the scene tree. So yeah, so we did that. So I can just go ahead and go into two. It's still a valid node. It's just not no longer the scene tree. So yeah, so we did that. So I can just go ahead and go into can just go ahead. So I can just there we go, right there. Thereabouts. Let's see if that works. Longer the scene tree. So I can just go ahead and go into 2D. I can add a room. Okay, so let's. I guess there's just plenty of places I can actually. I'm removing like spaces. I wasn't gonna remove any extra spaces though, but since I'm this zoomed in. So I can just go ahead and go into 2D. I can add a room, right? I can save the room data, right? And I can take and subtract it. I don't need that right in there. Data, and I can take and subtract it. Now, if I go to script here and I start messing around that and, you know, that, and then I don't want to spend too much time just testing it out because. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I don't mind leaving these little words in. I'm kind of like half trailing off and stuff, just because you know, I'm not trying to act like I'm speaking perfectly the whole time because I'm not. But I do like to trim these down though a little bit. Now, if I go to script here and I start messing around that and, you know, that, and then I don't want to spend too much time just testing it out because I'm pretty sure it's working fine now. See, it doesn't crash anymore. And of course, if I check a new thing, it, you know. So now the crash bug's fixed, and then I add deal to where you no longer have a parent, you have multiple parents that's saved in an array. anymore. And of course, if I check a new thing, it so now the crash bug's fixed, and then I added a deal to where you no longer have a parent, you have multiple parents that's saved in an array. And tomorrow I got to work on the thing about the origin, because that's saved in an array. And tomorrow I got to work on the thing about the origin, because right now you're not going to no longer create room with the origin, you're going to create it with the array. So anyways, that's all I got, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, that's pretty good. I can just kind of leave it like that. So now if you look here, see, now we're under 10 minutes now. And I didn't intend that on purpose, per se. Like, not exactly under, like, I didn't intend it to be wholly under 10 minutes. But I'm just kind of trimming the fat, basically. And when I stutter and stuff, trim that too. So let's see if I can do that in here. Starting recording now. Okay, today is... Alright, so I can actually... Today is Tuesday, April 29th. And you know what I should do? I should just go ahead and, wherever these stupid things are, I should go ahead and just trim these up whenever I can. It shouldn't take too long, just because I'm not adding new ones. I'll probably add a few new things in here depending on what I am doing. Okay. Let's be quick about it, right? Gotta be quick. Gotta go fast. Quick, 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 fast, fast, fast. Quick, fast, 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 quick, quick, fast, fast. Fast, quick. I'm glad it snaps back when it shows the wrong thing. Ripple editing actually um, will move stuff to make room. So if I had ripple editing on, it would move stuff out. Wouldn't be a bigger problem though, because what would happen is you'd have a gap and you just remove the gap anyways. So trying to overwrite anything, where it pushes it out of the way, wouldn't be a big deal. Quite a bit of these though, I must say. Okay. And there we go. All right. Let's go all the way down. This is going to be even shorter. So this whole thing is going to end up being super short. And there we go. There are plenty of spots you can remove silence out of, but I'm not going to worry that much about it. through this and we're gonna pop out the does and we're and stuff. Today is Tuesday, April 29th, 2025 at approximately 3:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and today at approximately 3:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And today what I got done is not a whole heck of a lot. I got a little bit done though, and that is okay, so we can take this. This. And that is I've made sure that that origin is not. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this out and let's go ahead and delete that. And let's put it back down. I've made sure that origin is not set or red. Okay, let's take a little bit of that out. We can the extended his there. Origin is not set or red. Or red. Or red. Okay, so this or can be taken out. Origin is not set or red. In other words, did I close that? Did I close that? I closed that, didn't I? Go whoop. Or red. In other words, did I close that? I closed that, didn't I? Go whoop. Let's go to projects. Let's go to this. Let's go to rooms. I don't know. I don't know if I need to cut this out, but we'll trim it down a little bit. Same thing here. You can do it. And we'll just do that. Did I close that? I closed that, didn't I? Go whoop. Let's go to projects. Let's go to this. Let's go to rooms. So now all the rooms don't have a parent label. They have inbound, which is the array for the incoming. Bound, which is the array for the incoming connections, and it doesn't use and it okay, let's chunk this out a little bit. Connections, and it doesn't use origin. Actually, let's delete that too. Space. Incoming connections, and it doesn't use origin anymore. And it doesn't use origin anymore. So we'll find. Oops. Boy, there's quite a bit in here though. Anymore. Control find. Oops. Control find origin, and just like parent is gone, origin is gone. Parent. Okay, so we're gonna. And just like parent is gone, origin is gone, is commented out, and is commented out, and it's commented out for room. So is commented out. It's commented out for room. So I didn't get a whole lot done today. I figured out how I'm gonna do my. It's commented out for room. So I didn't get a whole lot done today. I figured out how I'm gonna do my doors. So now I'm on to the visualization. I'll start the visualization tomorrow. So that's pretty much all I did today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Do I need any of this in there? I didn't get a whole lot done today. I figured out how I'm going to do my doors. So now I'm on to the visualization. I'll start the visualization tomorrow. So now I'm on to the visualization. I'll start the visualization tomorrow. Start the visualization. I'll start the visualization. I'll start the visualization tomorrow. So that's pretty much all I did today, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'll just go ahead and leave it, I guess. 322. Let's go to 2. Where is it? 222. So it's not even a minute. Okay, so that's actually okay. So let's go to the next one, which should be number 3. And I don't know why. There we go. Okay, let's do the same thing here. So number 3. Looks like I'll make it, but okay, so I'm gonna do a few things here. It's all it has to do with cutting out the silence. So if I get an automatic silence cutter, then also make sure that if I do work on a plugin, make sure that all the cuts are soft cuts, so I can go in and I can kind of replace. Actually, that's probably fine. Trim in, trim in, trim in. Okay. I wonder if I should tell my brother about this. He doesn't really have time to watch stuff. He's got a regular job. He's got a family. He does watch stuff sometimes, but he's got his own deal to do. And the streams are long and boring. Although I suppose if he knew about it, he could tune it in and he could listen to me talk while he's working. I mean, if he found it interesting enough, which probably isn't too interesting. But my brother actually does flooring in Montana, and so sometimes they put up stuff. He does listen to Bible and preachers and things like of this nature, so he might rather watch those than my boring old self. I could tell my nephew to watch this, both of my nephews for that matter. Okay. Let's go here. Actually, let's go on down the line. right on down the line. So 514. 414. 3:30. So it's not even 2 minutes, which is fine. But I still have to go for content just to remove the major stutters and stuff. So we'll see. So today, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, I didn't get much done today because the stupid bugs keep popping up. And I wanted to make sure that I couldn't move the doors around because they're node 2Ds. I wanted to make sure that I couldn't move the doors around because they're node 2Ds. That means they have position. That means when I select them, I end up moving. That's a perfect place to cut. Backspace. Now they're node 2Ds. That means they have position. That means when I select them, I end up moving. I can end up moving the door. So end up moving. Means they have position. That means when I select them, I can end up moving the door. So if I do this, then the end up moving the door. If I do this, then the door is moved, and I don't want that. I don't want it to. I don't want it to be able to select it or anything. That I don't want it. That. Okay. I don't want it to be able to select it or anything. If I do this, then the door is moved, and I don't want that. I don't want it to be able to select it or anything. So one of the ways that Grok suggested that I fix this is set editable instance to false, so that I couldn't edit it in. Okay, that could actually go. I don't know, let's stick this a little bit of this out. Fix this is set editable instance to false so that I couldn't edit it in the editor. And but these errors keep popping up here. This these errors keep popping up here. This right here is ancestor. Errors keep popping up here. This right here is ancestor of p mode is true. So and that pops up right here is ancestor of p mode is true. And that pops up before anything else. And so this and can go too. See a lot of double wording and stuff. P mode is true. And that pops up before anything else goes. And that pops up before anything else goes. Exit tree is called. So these before anything else goes. Exit tree is called. So these errors happen. Exit tree is called. So these errors happen. Exit tree is called when I hit reload save scene, which indicates it's running before anything. However, if I comment this out and save it, and let's clear this, and then reload save scene, and then reload save scene. Now And let's clear this, and then reload save scene. Now I don't have any errors. Reload save scene, and now I don't have any errors. See, there's no errors in here. Okay, now if I take it back out, hit save, and hit reload save scene. Okay, so these, they kind of need a little bit of a, doesn't have to be real tight, but it doesn't have to be real tight, but and hit reload save scene, the errors are back. Why are the errors back? I don't know, because all of the errors back. I don't know, because all of this, see, add room to editor map starting for room. This should be in here if it's calling this function to add. Okay, so some of this is, I'm just, I guess, trimming up some of the dialogue here. Do I have, okay, so I have the desktop audio on too, right? Okay, good. Because I don't want you to think I'm just like talking to myself. You know, I am a sane person. I am not mad. For room. This should be in here if it's calling this function to actually call this dang stupid line here. This dang stupid line here. So I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try to figure it out the rest. Take the soft on that here. So I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try to figure it out the rest of this week. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just live with it if everything else works like it's supposed to, or maybe I'll find a different way of doing stuff. Anyways, that's all I got done today, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, so 457, 357, 257. So let's go to 357 if we got it. Which we do. Let's go to 329. See, it's a minute and something, which is fine. I mean, it's not supposed to be real long anyways. Anyways, this is the 30th, so this is Wednesday, right? Wednesday was the 30th, and then Thursday is the 1st. That's right. That's right. Okay, so Thursday will actually be the last one I'm messing with, because I'm not going to mess with the other. Do your thing, man. Keep posting. Okay. Okay, so actually, let's check. How long was this one? This one 5:05, and we need to go over to 6:05. That's a minute. So that's just around a minute. Not very long, then, apparently. Okay, so I'm trimming the edges here. And, I mean, I'm cutting it a little bit close. Not a lot close, but a little bit. Because after I do this, and after I remove the spaces, then I need to go in and check it for content, but it's only about a minute, so it's gonna be too bad. Okay. Almost there. Yeah, I told you I was almost there. Okay, but I should probably go back all the way over here. Let's do this. Do it until it catches up. Okay, caught up. Save it. Then let's go ahead and so you got H265 HEVC. I wonder if I should go ahead and do that. Does anybody know if YouTube does nobody in here probably, but anybody know if YouTube does H.265? Because I can continue to do MPEG Force here without actually changing anything. High quality, coding speed, AAC, analyze. Frame range, MPEG, video. Okay. So let's go through this for content. Okay, today, Thursday, May 1st, 2025. All I did today was trying to figure out how to move the room and move the door along with it, and then have a little visual representation of the door. So part of this has to do with, like, I have like a cadence or whatever, and so there's some gaps in here. Move the room and move the door along with it, and then have a little visual representation of the door, which you kind of have here. Let's go ahead and reload, save scene. Okay. Go ahead and reload, save scene. Okay, now there's this black. Okay, what? All right, that's fine. I don't know. It seems to be working fine right now, and it was for a while. And then I had like some sort of stray. Oh, I see. If I select, let's select the door. And let's move it, right? No, it's still the door visual, which is fine. Well, it seems to be working fine, sort of, right now. Okay, so this can actually put the gap in here, and probably in here too. There, there. It seems to be working fine, sort of, right now. But see, right now, okay. So now, right now. But see, right now, no but, no but, no buts. Sort of, right now. See, right now, okay. So now when I move this, sort of, right now. See, right now. So now when I move this, see, sort of, right now. So now when I move this, see, it's moves us up in here somewhere. It has something to do with selecting the room, and it moves this, and it's, I don't know, it's not messed up. Anyways, I didn't get anything done today, and that's pretty much what I got done today was this. So I'll try again tomorrow. Okay, that's all right. In fact, I guess that's where we're at, right? All right. So now I guess I'm just mostly done here now. So now what I do here is just back can delete the overlay text. I used to have a lot more overlay text before, but I don't need it. Okay. Let's find the end. I'm finding the end here. Okay. Okay, so let's just copy that. Control C and the Control V, enter, Control S to save. Awesome. And I guess it just rendered out now. Know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a little tiny bit fancy, not a lot fancy. I mean, I still have some time, but I'm just gonna get a little bit fancy. I'm gonna just disconnect these two strips. I'm gonna take the text strip only, and I'm gonna do a fade in and fade out. Hopefully. And let's see what it looks like. So that's about it. All right. And we'll do the same thing here. We'll disconnect. And it's not super fancy. It's just a thing that will fade in and out. Okay, that'll work. And I guess just render it now. Okay, so save it. Well, and we'll render it, and I'm pretty much done. Page down, page up. Sure everything is saved, and render animation. There, that does it. And we did get in time. It's barely in time, but it got in time. Got a few minutes early. Yeah, great, huh? Good job, me. Since nobody's going to be in here to congratulate me. So, okay. So I guess I'll be seeing you on Monday. Tomorrow's my day off, and yeah, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dedicate the whole week to. I'll probably get it done sooner than that, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna just make that my next week's goal, and if I get anything past that, that's great. But my next week's goal is to make sure that the visualizations work the way I want them to. So what that entails, I can tell you here that it's well, I'm gonna update, and since you're still on the stream here, I can So what? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna make the door visualizations go back to the room. The inbound connections are going to be on the top row, and the outgoing the outgoing connections go on the bottom, and they're going to be up to 9. They're not going to be all 9, but they're going to be up to 9, and then lines are going to be drawn. I'm going to have lines drawn to in real time, so it's going to be, I guess, in the process function. But lines are going to be drawn from door to door, from door to, to parent to door, or however you want to say it, from one room to the next room, and it's going to have these little squares on it that represent the door nodes, and then I'll just be able to edit like I'm supposed to, like I want to, and then once I'm sure all the visualizations are working, once I'm sure all the interaction is the way I want it, then I start on the game proper, and then with the game proper, what I do is I'll have to actually go through each of the pages, each of the rooms, so to speak, and I'll have to create. I'll have to create some stuff in between, and you know, I have 100, 93. It's 93 pages in there. So that's going to be at least two. Well, yeah, unless it gets to a dead end. It's not going to necessarily get to a dead end. What's going to happen is it's going to taper off back into the main thing. So each of the various like branches will go back down to the same room. That's why I added the parent array instead of just a single parent. So the inbound array will handle all that. Up to 9 connections can go into it. So in a sense, you know, each room. So you'll have the one room here, and then you'll have the next room down here, and it might only be the one room that they're all connected to. So they'll all connect to one connection. So they'll be like that, and then it'll go back to the one, so that it kind of looks like these little bubbles of interactivity. And I'm not sure how much I want to work it. I guess I guess I don't need to do a specific um like a specific amount or number. I mean, that's not very, it's very inorganic, and you'd be able to kind of notice it when you played it. But there'll be at least two. There'll be at least two deals and two separate deals, and they'll go back into one. That doesn't mean there'll only be two. Like I said, you can have up to 9 choices, and so eventually all roads lead back to the next page, the next card, and that's just going to take a long time. So a lot of story. That's kind of why I'm thinking of breaking things up. So if I'm working on an editor, and it'll be just like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, kind of, but I'll have to do everything. I'll have to handle the zooming. I'll have to handle the panning. I'll have to, have the buttons. You'll have a save feature, but it'll be one save button. It won't be like the editor save, and then when you move stuff around, it wants to save it again, and then um, the and then you hit the save to actually save the rooms. No, it'll be like a single project. It'll have a project file that it saves to, and each time you move it, it's going to save these positions. So eventually, I won't have the JSON meta files anymore. It'll be like a single file that the room files will be individual. Like I still have a bunch of room files, bunches of page files, so it might even get a little unwieldy. So I'll have to figure something out about that. But actually, when we get back to reusable rooms, that idea, there'll be like fewer. In this case, there are 44 similar locations that will probably be in like one room. So you're thinking of going from 93 down to 44 or something. Although it'll be a lot different because I'll have a lot more cards in it, so that won't even be the thing there. But yeah, so I'll work on a proper editor. Even I guess even if I don't finish it, because I might actually get done with the game before I actually end up finishing that, or maybe not, because maybe well, I can use a lot of the existing code I have for one thing. Um, it'll be a little bit different though. I'll probably be using process quite a bit. Won't necessarily be using process. We'll have events, right? So I'll have the save event, and it'll have like I'll emit signals, and then I'll have the thing that handles the saving, and I'll have the thing that handles the loading, and so the project file. So and you'll have a directory that has the room file, so it'll save it as rooms in its own directory, and then you can literally take and copy that into the project. Or maybe I don't know, maybe I'll have the editor built into the game so that you could make your own stuff if you wanted to. Do that. I could encrypt it so where you can't mess up the game, but you can still make your own games, I guess. Um, so maybe I'll do something special for the actual my own game, but you'll still be able to. you'll be able to run the editor, and you'll be able to play your own games. That maybe I'll do that like that, but we'll see. So we'll see what we got. Anyways, I think I'm just gonna end the stream there. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging around, Rook. Since you're probably the only one that's hanging around, and I will be back on Monday. So take it easy. Thank you for watching.